الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد خلقنا الإنسان ونعلم ما توسوس به نفسه ونحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد إذ يتلقى المتلقيان عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد ونفخ في الصور ذلك يوم الوعيد وجاءت كل نفس معها سائق وشهيد لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد.
Thank you very much. We can also listen to our Imam, Imam Zakaria Suleiman, to add to the beauty of the occasion. Now,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال قرينه هذا فاتني عتيد ألقيا في جهنم كل كفار عنيد مناع للخير معتد مريب الذي جعل مع الله إلها آخر فألقياه في العذاب الشديد صدق الله العظيم.
we thank our Imams for this short and insightful recitation. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fortify us with the soothing recitation that we heard from these Imams. I now have the singular honor to introduce our chair for today. Our chair for today is a Deputy Director of Prison Service, and currently he is a General Staff Officer, Ghana Prison Service. He has a very rich working experience with the Ghana Prison Service. One time was the training instructor, Prison Service Officers Training School. He was once the Chief Human Resource and once second in command at Ankafu prisons. Very active here in the mosque and sometimes supports us to lead Zohor and Asr prayers. Our chair for today, respected participants of this all-important lecture, is DDP Alhaji Yahya Issah, General Staff Officer, Ghana Prison Service. So let's welcome him with a big takbir. Now, we have given him a task. So we would like to hear from our chair for today whether he is accepting or declining the responsibility that we have given him today.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you very much, Imam Abbas, for this sumptuous introduction. When it comes to the work of Allah, one will not have to of faith, especially in this month of Ramadan, where words are multiple in many books. So, giving me this now, I will not hesitate, but God will help us. I will do what Allah support. And I believe each and every one who here pray for me, pray for all of my speakers, so that we can share the program this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. I now want to ask for permission to now introduce our speaker, our guest speaker for today. With your kind indulgence, Mr. Chairman. Our speaker for today had his primary education at Kamaria Arabic School, Kalpantini, that's in Tamale, between 1980 and then 1990. Kalpantini is where the residence of the former president. Yes, I've been there with Imam Hussein. Ali Muhammad, may his soul rest in peace. Then he proceeded to read junior high school between 1990 and 1992. Then to Tamale Secondary Senior High School between 1992 and 1995. Then straight to the Islamic University of Medina between 1995 and 2002, where he first started with Faculty of Hadith. So those of you who listened to his khutbah today, indeed this is a testimony that somebody is coming from Faculty of Hadith. Then he proceeded to Faculty of Dawah again between same university, between 2002 and 2003. Now he's returned to Ghana, and he thinks what he had from Saudi Arabia is not enough. So straight away, between 2004 and 2007, he proceeded to University of Ghana, Legon, where he had Masters of Philosophy in Comparative Study of Religions. Allahu Akbar. As if that is not enough, he also proceeded to University of Cape Coast between 2012 to 2014 for postgraduate diploma in education. Then between 2020 and 2022, he attended Valley View University for another Master's in Education, Leadership and Administration. Currently, our guest speaker is the chairman of the Northern Regional Muslim Council of Ghana. He's a big man. And he is also the Northern Regional Manager of Ghana, the Northern Regional Manager of Islamic Education Unit. Sheikh. Born in 1974, with all these great achievements, our guest speaker for today is coming all the way from Tamale all the way. We pulled him from Tamale to do this honor for us. It's my humble brother, Sheikh Imam Issah Alhassan Abubakar. Imam,
Yeah, my brother. And
you are welcome.
Thank you.
And with the permission of Mr. Chairman, now the floor is yours. But he's going to speak on a very important topic: reaching out, opening doors and hearts for our neighbors in this month of Ramadan. Very important topic.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله المنان الكريم المنعم المتفضل المحسن الذي يعطي عطاء من لا يخاف الفقر. هو الحق وقوله حق والجنة حق والنار حق والنبيون حق ولا يأمر الله إلا بالحق والحق اتبع الرسل وأممهم وبالحق كانوا يعدلون. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. صل اللهم وسلم وبارك وأنعم على عبدك ورسولك محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحابته ومن اقتفى أثرهم واهتدى بهداهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Mr. Chairman, I have my mentor and my sheikh here. That is the Imam here. He is my mentor, he is my sheikh. We were their genius when we went to Saudi Arabia. We met them and they were already malams, big malams. So my sheikh, I acknowledge. My Imam, Alhaji Imam Abbas, we have known ourselves since 1980s. Through Musabakat and Dawrat al-Shari'iyah al-islamiyyah. I acknowledge you have impacted a lot on some of us. Invited guests, gentlemen and ladies, our Hufaz here, Sheikh Zakaria Sulaiman is my junior brother, and I can say we are of the same family. And the other Hafiz from Nigeria, Antum Ahlullahi wa Khassatuhu, Yahfadukum Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think it is an immense honor done me today to take part in this, I call it a divine sitting. It is a divine sitting in a divine month of Ramadan. And the topic is reaching out to our brothers, opening doors to others in the month of Ramadan. I thank Allah the Almighty, or we thank Allah the Almighty for whatever He has done for us in our lives. And I think as a Muslim, almost always you are duty bound to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are duty bound. Because Allah the Almighty has praised Himself in the Holy Quran and says, فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. He does what He wills and wishes. Nobody can compel Allah the Almighty. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا مُكْرِهَ لَهُ. Hadith Sahih. Nobody can compel Allah the Almighty. You are created a human being without consultation. There wasn't any consultation between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if Allah the Almighty does what He wills and wishes, it means He could have created you a non-human being. Almighty Allah could have created you a mountain at Nkoko, and you cannot question Him. The Almighty could have made you a goat in your village, and nobody could have questioned Allah the Almighty. Almighty Allah could have made you a tree in front of your house, and you would not have questioned Allah the Almighty. So He has made you a human being without consulting you. You have to celebrate it and glorify His name for making you a human being. The next glorification comes from you being a Muslim. The Almighty Allah, if He so willed and wished, He would have made you a non-Muslim. Because people are wealthier than you, they are not Muslims. People are stronger than you, they are not Muslims. Kings are not Muslims. You are not wealthy, you are poor, you are not strong, you are not influential. Yet Almighty Allah has decided to make you a Muslim. You have to celebrate it and glorify the name of Allah the Almighty for making you a Muslim. Look, there was an incident, and I was part of it. Nobody told me. A sister, I'll call her a sister because she died as a sister. A sister, a Konkomba Christian sister, went to church on Sunday in Yendi. A Konkomba Christian sister attended church service. Whilst in church, she fell ill and she was sent to the Yendi Municipal Hospital. The ward that she was admitted into, there was already a woman, a Muslim woman, lying in that hall. I'll call it a ward. So that day, a Sunday, after Issah, the Muslim lady died. And before the Muslim lady died, Almighty Allah blessed her and she declared La ilaha illallah before dying. The Muslim lady. وأنتم تعلمون ما كان آخر كلامه لا إله إلا دخل الجنة أخرجه الإمام البخاري في الصحيح. If your last declaration and words is La ilaha illallah, straightforward, you are into paradise. So the Muslim lady, our sister, said La ilaha illallah after Issah, died. Now it was left with the Christian Konkomba lady. This lady picked the La ilaha illallah and decided not to let it go. La ilaha illallah. And she was saying it. She also died that same day at 9 p.m. in the hospital, and her last words were La ilaha illallah. From church to paradise. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُعْطِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. But you cannot say I will be misbehaving. When it is time for me to also die, I will declare it. You don't have that guarantee. So be upright. Stick to the dictates of Allah the Almighty. Opening your right hand side, 40 houses on your left hand side, in front of you, behind you, 40 houses. All these people are our neighbors. So they are our neighbors. Or Sheikh Muhammad Salih Al-Uthaymeen and Sheikh Muhammad Nasruddin Al-Albani, they are of the view that we have qaida usuliyya. Al-qaida taqul al-'ada muhakkama. What culture and norm and custom sees or considers to be a neighbor, then it is permissible for you to adopt it and accept it as a neighbor within our culture, within our tradition. What we see to be within the neighborhood or neighborliness, let us accept it, because they are of the view that we cannot stick to one definition when it comes to identifying or defining who a neighbor is. Now, if you want to appreciate the weight that Islam has placed on reaching out to neighbors, I want you to look at reaching out to a non-human neighbor. When you reach out to a non-human neighbor, whether positively or negatively, when you look at the reward or the punishment enshrined therein, you will appreciate the value of reaching out to our neighbors. In an authentic prophetic tradition, in the compilation of both Bukhari and Muslim, there was Bagiyatun Israeliyah, that is a Jewish prostitute. She went on prostitution, and when she was returning, she became thirsty. So she found a well or a stream, and she decided to go into it to drink water. Immediately she came out, she saw a dog standing near the well or the stream. And she said to herself, لَقَدْ أَصَابَ هَذَا الْقَلْبَ مِثْلُ مَا أَصَابَنِي مِنَ الْعَطْشِ. The same test that I suffered from is what has made the dog to come and stand near this stream. So what she did was, she went back into the stream, filled her shoe with water, and now held it with her mouth and used her both hands to climb up. When she climbed up, she brought the water close to the mouth of the dog, and that dog drank the water. فَشَكَرَ اللَّهُ لَهَا وَأَدْخَلَهَا الْجَنَّةِ. This is a prostitute. A prostitute coming from the prostitution venture. But she has reached out to a non-human being, and Allah the Almighty has forgiven her, and she is now among the people of Jannah. A prostitute. Let's look at punishing a non-human being. In hadith in Sahih, akhrajahu Imam Muslim, min riwayat Abi Hurairah, an old lady was punished by Allah the Almighty because she looked at a cat in her room. She did not feed it, neither did she provide it with water. So until the cat died, she did not also allow the cat to come out and eat. So when the cat died, and Almighty Allah punished this lady and made her to enter into the scorching hellfire. So look at the two scenarios. One has reached out to a dog, and the other one has punished a cat. The one that has reached out to a dog is now in Jannah, and the one that punished a dog till death is now in hellfire. And these are non-human neighbors. A dog and a cat, both of them are non-human neighbors. So this tells you the extent of your reward if you reach out to a human neighbor. That is why we are here. The Arabs are saying that inna al-quluba jubilat ila hubbi man ahsana ilayha. Al-qulub jubilat ila hubbi man ahsana ilayha. When you honor somebody's heart, when you do something good to someone, you enslave the person's heart. You enslave him. You now own the person's heart because of the honor you have done to that person. Muslims, our problem is that sometimes we do not care for one another. And I have two scenarios to illustrate my statement and to justify what I have just said. There is a village on Kumbugu Road. Before you get to Kumbu, that village is called Gumo. There is a mosque there. The wife of the muazzin of the mosque gave birth. The wife gave birth. On the seventh day, before the seventh day, on the sixth day, Muslims within that community, they didn't care. They didn't ask the muazzin, how are you going to do the name ceremony? Do you have food? Do you have clothes? They didn't ask. Fortunately or unfortunately, the muazzin is living, sharing boundaries with a pastor. So the pastor saw the level of the neglect from the community, and the pastor invited the muazzin. Muazzin, what is happening? I've not seen your people come with items. Do you have a ram? He said no. Then he said, then if you don't have a ram, I won't even ask whether you have maize or not. Then it means there's no food in home. He said, yes, no food. So pastor sent for a ram. The type of ram the muazzin had never seen in his life, slaughtered in any ceremony. A big ram. So pastor bought the ram, 2 bags of maize. And we have something we call vanyina. Within our locality, in our local dialect, vanyina is the white wrapper, the cloth, the piece of cloth that the woman will wear on the name of the day of the name of ceremony. We call it vanya. So the pastor asked the muazzin, do you have vanyina? The muazzin said no. I didn't have a ram. Where will I get vanyina? So pastor provided 2 pieces of cloth. So it means pastor finished everything regarding the outdoor. The next day, Muslims came in with their 1 cedis and 2 cedis. 1 cedi contribution, 2 cedis contribution. The muazzin collected everything. Now, the wedding ceremony was done. Time for Zuhr, they waited. Muazzin didn't come out. Time for Asr, he didn't come out. Maghrib, he didn't come. Issah, he didn't come. They consoled themselves and said it was justifiable because he was tired. The next morning, Al-Fajr, Muazzin didn't appear. So, rumors started coming out that Muazzin had now become a Christian. So, the chairman of the village invited Muazzin. This is what we have heard. The Muazzin asked the chairman, if you find yourself in my shoes, would you become a Christian or not? I have been a member of this village by birth, not that I migrated to this village. And I have been your Muazzin, calling you to come and worship Allah the Almighty. My wife has given birth, and all of you have done nothing. It took a pastor to salvage the situation. So I am now a Christian. He told them that he was not a Christian. Fortunately, people were able to talk him out of Christianity. So he now, he embraced Islam again, but promised never to call azan for the people to come and pray. Look at the power of caring for people. The pastor enslaved his heart because the pastor reached out to him and he realized that it was rather the pastor who was a brother and not his brothers and sisters Muslims. This is the power of reaching out to people and what it can do to making a person in terms of religiosity and spirituality. Another scenario. There is a village when you are going, before you negotiate the curve towards the airport, there is another village. A pastor was doing an outreach program in that village. I know the name of the village, but I won't mention the name. A pastor was doing an outreach program in that village. So that pastor, every Sunday, he goes there with food stuff. When it is time for farming, he goes to them, provides implements, farm inputs. These people told him, the pastor, that they had abandoned Islam, but they could not do it. They were only taking the goodies from the pastor, but they were still Muslims. Somebody told pastor that if he wants to find out whether his people are Christians or Muslims, he should come on the day of Eid. So one Eid al-Fitr, once they were praying, pastor came with his pickup, white pickup. Everybody in the village knew pastor's pickup. Pastor came from behind. He didn't come in front of them. He came from behind. So people saw the pickup, the Pastor Panono pickup. So Pastor Panono pickup means pastor has arrived with the pickup. Come and see. The adults started running without picking their sandals. They ran and left only the imam. Because they didn't want pastor to see them praying. They have told pastor because of the goodies that they are now Christians. Pastor caught them red-handed. That was the day the outreach program of pastor ended. That was the day. Why am I giving you these scenarios? I want us to feel that when you leave your brother without sharing her sorrows, agony, pain with him or her, and somebody takes undue advantage of his or her situation, you are very likely to lose that brother or that sister. And it is happening in our schools. We don't have concerted programs for our Muslims in the schools, especially the ladies amongst them. So many people have come to me. Our sister is now a Christian. Our sister is now a Christian. And the reason is that the sister is now a Christian. Okay, another scenario. It happened in Kumasi. That was last year. Pentecost Church visited the Kumasi Central Prison. And they saw that some of the inmates committed minor crimes. And they were on remand. And they were forgotten. So Pentecost Church demanded from the authority there that give us the list of those with minor crimes, so that we will see how we can aid and facilitate their freedom, for them to be brought out. So they gave them 22 names. All the 22 names were Muslims. All the 22 names were Muslims. My source is the Deputy National President of Keep Fit Clubs in Ghana. He is called Alhaji Muhammad Zakaria. He told me this. And he is the Northern Regional President of Keep Fit Clubs. And he said he was told by a member of the Christian Council what they witnessed in Kumasi. 22, all of them were Muslims. So what they did was they went and paid monies. Well, some of them stole either mobile phones, golds. So they went and settled all their debts and bills, and they followed due process and got them out. 22 Muslims. Pentecost Church facilitated their freedom. Now, they invited them to come for counseling. So if after the counseling, the church asked them to come for church service, what do you think will happen? Because nobody cared within the Muslim the fraternity, nobody cared for them. It took a church. I want us to know the level at which we are. We might think we are doing something big, but we still have a lot to do. Wallahi, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. So, this our brother was telling me that, why can't we also visit the Northern Regional Prisons service? So I led them. We went there. We met the imam. We met the leadership. They gave us the opportunity to enter into the inmates. So we have started the outreach programs with our inmates. Now let us ask ourselves as Muslims, do we have a program for Muslim inmates? Do we have it? Program for Muslim inmates. So that we have their data and their statistics. How many of them are Muslims? How many of them committed minor crimes that we Muslims could have facilitated to get them out? We don't have. We claim we are having outreach programs, but we have forgotten of this important entity within our society. When we went, I sat in the mosque, and Muslim prisoners were invited. 180 Muslim prisoners. 180. Out of 180, 120 were below 30 years. 130 were below 30 years. So now I have their data. On the third day of Ramadan, we visited them. So we have made it a point, and we have given them 2 malams to be teaching them because they demanded that from us. They told us that Christians are visiting them every evening. Pastors are visiting them every evening. But we Muslims, we are not visiting them. So they made that request. We submitted names for two of our brothers. So on Wednesdays and Sundays, they are also visiting them. They have completed the Holy Quran. Some of them have bought Kitab al-Ahbari. They are now studying. They are really studying, and they want to study and enlighten themselves in their religion. Now what I have done, our next move is that I have also asked the leadership there to give me the list of those with minor crimes. I know perhaps I am not capable. I am incapacitated. I don't have the power to be able to pay or facilitate. But if I get the statistics, I will get in touch with Muslims who can help us get them out. That is what I want to do. So they said, inshallah, they promised me that after Ramadan, they will give me the list of those with minor crimes. The list of those with major crimes, I think that is not our area of intervention. But those with minor crimes, that means that when you just inject maybe 1,000 cedis, 2,000 cedis, 4,000 cedis, you would be able to get the person out. That is what we are now working on. They just mentioned to you that I am the chairman of the Northern Region Muslims Council. So I go there in the name of the chairman of Northern Region Muslims Council. So now when I go there, I am given the needed recognition, and whatever information I ask or demand from them, they make them available. So this is what we are doing. We are doing it in Northern Region. I don't know whether in Accra here, whether in Kumasi, whether in Takura, our brothers have now come out with a method. They have come out with steps to make sure that they are almost always in touch with the inmates in prisons, so that they identify those with minor crimes, so that we will facilitate their freedom. Let us try it. This one is part of reaching out to people. We are not reaching out to only those who are having their freedom. And I think it will be more rewarding for us to reach out to those whose freedoms have been curtailed. You may say that these are a bunch of criminals. Why do I worry myself? Circumstances have found them there. You don't know when you are also going there. You don't know. People were there. When I was leaving, an old man who can be my father, he followed me. He started wailing and crying. He told me in the Bani, we say, fear the situation in which it is only Allah the Almighty who is your witness. So he repeated that to me. He said, Imam, I am in a situation, nobody is my witness except Allah the Almighty. And Allah will not come down to speak for me. So he said, I am here for 1 year, 11 months, for 13 months, 1 year, 1 month. But on remand, that nobody is telling him when his case is going to start. So it means they have forgotten them over there. These are some of the things we need to do. Our orphanages, are we reaching out to our orphans? And let me make this statement. Every father, and the children of every father are potential orphans. True or false? The children of every father are potential orphans. And the children of every father are candidates of fatherlessness. It's true. Today, they may be having you as their father. You don't know what is going to happen to them tomorrow. And the orphanages, when you visit them and see the conditions in which they are, people claim, people have come from outside the country, they have established orphanages, but when you visit them, you find them in a very appalling situation. Look at the quality of food that they are served, and then you feel sorry for them. So I think it is time for the Muslim leadership. The Muslim leadership. Unfortunately, everybody is living in destitute. Small groups. كل حزب بما لديهم فرحون. That is our problem. But we need to have a program for them. Maybe we are not going to offer anything, but we are going to be monitoring and visiting and so that we find the situation in which they are. Let us do it for the sake of the children, because it is not their fault that they find themselves in the situation that they are. The masjid level, reaching out at the masjid level, I am marveled, wallahi, what I have witnessed here in this masjid. I think if every major central mosque had adopted the style of this masjid, we would have said Alhamdulillah. At least, if every region would have had the kind of method, the style that is being worked with here, I think we would have gone a long way to minimize, if we cannot totally eradicate, the challenges that we are faced with. So the leadership of the mosque, congratulations. I ask and pray that Almighty Allah will empower and strengthen you for you to do more than you are doing. I am very, very impressed. I am very happy, and I ask. I think I don't want to forget it. I will have to. I think there should be an annual journal, because here in this Ramadan we are doing Ramadan lectures. So you combine the lectures with the khutbah that is being said. So in after every Ramadan, you can come out with a Ramadan brochure, so that it will capture. I won't call it a journal, but I would have wanted to mention it as a journal. So you can call it a Muslim annual journal, cantonments, so that all these lectures are captured in the journal, all the sermons are captured in the journal, and all the spiritual events, let us capture them, so that we give the lectures and we are gone. People don't have the opportunity to get them to read. Even if it is aired once or twice, that is all. But if we are captured in a journal, we would have the opportunity to be reading through. We will read through and take some of the lessons that are captured in that journal. So, and it needs sponsorship. So I pray that you are able to get a sponsor to come out with a Ramadan journal, so that it will capture all the major. Okay. Now another angle we have forgotten, and we think is for Christians, is the insane and the mentally retarded and challenged in the streets. Those who are insane, those we refer to as mentally challenged. We see Christians with their pickups, picking them from the streets, washing them, shaving them, providing them with food. What have we done as Muslims in the month of Ramadan, so that we would make them feel that they are now in the month of Ramadan? What have we done? We see them in the streets, we don't care. A young man has just come out from Tabali. a Muslim, so he has an Islamic organization. Before his coming out, it was only a Christian organization that was doing it. Pick all the mentally retarded persons, shave them, bath them, provide them with clothes, and be feeding them. We as Muslims, because we are in the month of Ramadan, we think we should reach out to others in the month of Ramadan. Have we made them feel that we are now in the month of Ramadan? Or we say they are done. We are done with them. We don't need them. Today they are challenged. We don't know what is going to happen to us. I pray that Almighty Allah keep us safe from the situation that they have found themselves in. But at least let them feel that they are now in the month of Ramadan. And it is, look, you have to glorify Allah the Almighty if you are ushered into the month of Ramadan. There is an authentic prophetic tradition. Hadith. That hadith is on the authority of Talha ibn Ubayd. Talha ibn Ubayd said, there are two men, they came from Yemen, from a village, and the name of the village is Baliyin. That is the name of the village. They came from that village. وَكَانَ إِسْلَامُهُمَا جَمِيعًا. Meaning, both men embrace Islam on the same day. Both men embrace Islam on the same day. Look at what happened. One of them was committed, hardworking. But the other one, though a Muslim, you can't call him a nominal Muslim, but he was not pulling his weight. He was not up to the level of the commitment of the other. So the committed one went and took part in jihad, and he was killed. He was killed. The other brother who embraced Islam with him on the same day, Allah the Almighty prolonged his life, and he lived up to the next year. And he also died. According to Talha ibn Ubayd, and I had a dream after the death of the second person. I had a dream. In that dream, we were told that the world had come to an end and people were being invited to enter paradise. So I saw myself, according to Talha is saying, I saw myself with the two of them, so we were three, standing in front of the gate of Jannah. فَخَرَجَ خَارِجٌ. Someone came out of the Jannah and said that he has been sent by Allah the Almighty to invite only one person. So Talha said, my estimation was that the committed one and the martyr who died in jihad would have been the first person to be invited. But to my shock, it was rather the brother who died a year later who was invited to come and enter paradise first. So I was shocked. Then the person came out for the second time and said, it is now time for you, the brother who died in jihad. Almighty Allah is inviting you to come and enter paradise. So he went. Talha is saying, and I was standing alone. Then the person came out for the third time and said, Amma anta fama ana ba'd irja. It means that as for you, it is not your time, go back. You shall enter, but not now. Because he was still alive, he didn't die. So Talha went. The next day, Talha, because of the shock of the night and the dream, started talking about it. Other companions, they heard it and they were discarded until the information got to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now the Prophet asked them, Mimma ta'jabun. Why are you people surprised? Mimma ta'jabun. Why are you surprised? Alam ya'ish ahuhu ila siyam. The brother who was invited to come and enter paradise first, was he not blessed and his life was prolonged after the death of the brother to another Ramadan? Qalu na'am ya Rasulullah. Another Ramadan. So their difference was only one Ramadan. And the Prophet ﷺ said, didn't he? Hal swama aw lam yasum? Qalu swama. He fasted or he didn't fast? They said he fasted. Hal salla wa sajada wa raka'a lillah? Qalu na'am ya Rasulullah. Did he pray at night? Did he do sujood at night? Did he give out alms? They said no. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Ma baynahuma kama bayna al-mashriq wal-maghrib. Ma baynahuma ab'ad mimma bayna al-mashriq wal-maghrib. Then the distance between them is like the sunset and sunrise in terms of reward. Because the other person, his life was prolonged and he was ushered into the month of Ramadan. He fasted, he prayed, he did sujood, he offered sadaqat. So it is sheer mercy of Allah the Almighty for you to be ushered into the month of Ramadan. A man came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, awsini wa awjis. The meaning is that he came to the Prophet as a hadith on Sahih. Akhrajahu al-Imam al-Tirmidhi. Ya Rasulullah, awsini. Oh Messenger of Allah, counsel me, advise me. But you see, villagers, they are funny people. I am happy that there's no villager here. Villagers are funny. Anas ibn Malik said that there were questions we the Sahaba could not ask until a villager comes to the Prophet. A villager will just that he will enter into the mosque. If you are sitting in front of him, he will tell you that give me way. He will kick you at your back. So when you eat, somebody is kicking you and you ask him why, he said, read the Tariq. I want a pathway. So Anas is saying that one of them will just come in, stand in the middle of the mosque and say, Ayyukum Muhammad. Which among you is Muhammad? You will say, I'm Rasulullah. He said, Ayyukum Muhammad. فَقَالُوا ذَلِكَ الرَّجُلُ الْأَبْيَدُ فِينَا. Allahu Akbar. Then he will now start asking his questions. I want to talk about villages. That is why I have mentioned the issue of villages. A villager came to the Prophet and said, counsel me, but don't prolong it. Shorten it. Look at the statement. Shorten it. Don't prolong it. You need counseling, but you are now dictating to the counselor. Don't prolong it. The Prophet ﷺ, that did not annoy the Prophet. If it were me, I would say, okay, I have nothing to say. But the Prophet ﷺ said, you want counseling and you don't want it prolonged? He said yes. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا قُمْتَ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَصَلِّ صَلَاةَ مُوَدِّهِ. Allah. إِذَا قُمْتَ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. Whenever you get up to pray, use that prayer to bid farewell to the world. Say goodbye. Every prayer you are offering, consider it to be your last prayer on the earth. You pray Issah. You don't expect to pray Maghrib. Don't be saying that I'll pray Maghrib. No. You may pray Maghrib, but you may not get to the time of Maghrib. It is possible you pray. So the Prophet told him that whenever you get up to pray, use that prayer to bid farewell to your brothers and the earth. Now, if you happen to be alive at the next prayer time, it is an honor done you by Allah the Almighty. If you are dead, you have already said farewell to your brothers. That is why the ulama are saying that when you are lucky to be ushered into the month of Ramadan, consider that month of Ramadan to be your last Ramadan on the earth. So we are not in the month of Ramadan. No. Yes, nobody has the guarantee that you shall be alive next year. And your last deed, you have to perfect it. Make it perfect. Everybody's last deed, make sure that you perfect it. Which is why you cannot afford to misbehave in this month of Ramadan. Because there is no guarantee that you will get another Ramadan. So let us try to beautify this month. Let us try to offer support for those who do not have. There are people who are neck deep in debt. Do we know them? Wallahi, there are families, Muslim families, the brothers, the same father, the same mother. They are not talking to each other. The same father, the same mother. And one of them is happy that the other one is not able to break his fast. There's no food. So that he will get news to go and spread outside home. The same brother. The same brother. Wallah, it is happening. He is happy that a brother is sick. Simply because there's a misunderstanding between them. Where is the spirit of reaching out to others? Where is the spirit of opening our doors to others? He is not neck deep in debt, but he needs your support. Yes, you can get something to break your fast. A neighbor is not able to do, yet you will invite him. Yet you will not invite him. By the way, there are 3 types of neighbors. We have 3 types of neighbors in an authenticated prophetic tradition. There are 3 types